Hello there, and welcome to the How to Market Your Horse Business podcast. I'm so glad you're joining me here today. As you've likely guessed by now, my name is Denise Alvarez. I am your host here on the podcast. And before we dive into talking about AI and your horse business, I'm going to briefly introduce myself just in case we're new friends, and then we're going to dive right in. Now, as I said, my name is Denise, and through my business, Storm Lily Marketing, I get to help dream-chasing horse business owners like yourself to ditch the marketing overwhelm, get the clarity they've been craving, and grow their business in a way that meets their definition of success. Now, I do this primarily through business and marketing coaching, as well as education, such as this podcast, and I have some online learning resources for you as well. All that I do, friends, is so that you, as an equestrian entrepreneur, can be out in the barn or in the arena or behind the camera lens or behind the computer or in the store, wherever it is you are serving the equine industry. I'm here to help you do more of that. And so here on the podcast specifically, you'll get a mix of step-by-step strategies, essential how-tos, and entrepreneurial mindset shifts that will help you not only see what's possible for your business, but I'm also here to guide you through that process so you can make it happen. And today we are doing that by way of AI, artificial intelligence. Now, we're going to talk about what that means in a minute, but why are we talking about this today? Well, let's be honest. Marketing your horse business can feel like a full-time job on top of the actual job and the other hats that you have of running the business, right? And that's why we have this podcast, because my heart is to simplify the marketing and business side of things for you. And this is also why we're talking about AI today and how it can help you in your horse business, specifically how you can use it to amplify your marketing. Because while AI can't do the physical labor for you, it can certainly help save time, I promise. And it can help you to get more done and help it to do it more effectively when it comes to your marketing. But here's the deal. I don't want you to start asking ChatGPT to run your business for you because AI is a tool. It is not a magic wand. And you still need to know your audience, your voice, and your message because that is the heart of effective marketing. And a robot, artificial intelligence, cannot replace your heart. That being said, when you use it wisely, it can absolutely amplify your efforts in a way that feels like you've hired a behind-the-scenes assistant who gets your business. Truly, that's what it can feel like. It's amazing. But before we dive into the practical side of things, I want us to talk about two things. Number one, let's define what we're talking about when we say AI. Artificial intelligence, according to NASA, is computer systems that can perform complex tasks normally done by human reasoning, such as decision-making, creating, etc. Interestingly, they literally have etc. in their definition. And AI is not new. Clearly, it's been around for years and years. But in late 2022, everything changed because it became decentralized, meaning OpenAI, the company, decentralized access to the technology the larger companies have been using for years. How? ChatGPT. That's when they released ChatGPT, crazily enough, in November 2022, bringing generative AI to the mainstream. And yes, I realize that I'm recording this episode, so for the record, depending on when you're listening to it, because technology changes quickly and fluidly, this is going to be published in spring 2025. Okay, so therefore, yes, AI and ChatGPT has been around for a while. And so many of you listening may be saying, Denise, I'm an expert at this. But I also know that many of you listening have been weary. Or not weary, but wary. You may be feeling weary, but what I wanted to say was wary. You're a little bit apprehensive when it comes to using AI in your business. There are concerns about pirating, taking information without asking, which is a true concern. There are concerns that many of you have about putting people out of jobs or taking the time to learn yet another tech tool, or looking for ways that it can make your life easier because it just seems too complicated to begin with. Now, I want to remind you of something important here. We're talking about technology, and technology is neutral. It really is in the hands of the user, okay? So yes, are some people pirating information and taking it without asking using AI? Yes, unfortunately, that has been happening. And you can look at information online for that. That's not what this episode is about. But to let you know that some of your apprehensions I get, and I have felt them too. I mean, here we are 2.5 years into ChatGPT, and I'm just now doing an episode on it because I wanted to get a good feel of what it means for you and your horse business. I wanted to get a good feel about how I feel about it as well, and then bring some information to you that is the practical side of how you can use it. So what we're going to do today is see this as a tool, okay? AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of the things, they are tools, okay? So my goal here today is to help you understand some ways that you can use this tool to help simplify your business and marketing for your equine business, all right? So we're going to use it as a marketing tool today. Secondly, I want to remind you that yes, it is a tool and yes, it is a machine, so it is not human. And here's why. This is my word of caution to you about using AI for your marketing. It may sound like a human sometimes. I mean, literally, when I use ChatGPT, because I've been training it for a while, it will talk back to me as me, right? It will like say encouraging words back to me and even use a heart emoji and a horse emoji and tell me, great job, keep it up. So it can try to sound like a human, but the reality is it's not. It's just been copying and imitating me. So what I want to remind you of is to be careful that you do not just copy and paste everything that you get from AI. Whether you're using ChatGPT, as I mentioned, that's the most popular one for most people right now, but Google has Gemini, and then there's also Claude out there, and there are many other tools that exist, okay? Whatever tool you're using AI, I want you to remember the best marketing still has a human touch to it, because we were created for human connection and we cannot bypass that. And I've had emails land in my inbox or seen social media posts and immediately thought, I can tell that does not sound like the person who sent it. It has a robotic feel to it. It doesn't have that human element. And so what I want to remind you today is that we are talking about how to amplify your marketing, not how to have it do everything for you. Okay, my goal here is not to remove the human element in your marketing and in your business, but to help you amplify what's working. So that being said, let's dive into 4 ways that you can use AI in your horse business to amplify your marketing efforts. All right, number 1, you can use it to edit your marketing copy. Now, when I say copy, that is a wide word for the words you're using in your marketing. So it can certainly be your social media content. It can be your website content. It can be your emails, your marketing copy. Okay, you can use it to edit. Now, I want to remind you that if you want effective marketing, do not start by asking AI to write everything from scratch for you. As one copywriter I follow said so well, you can't outsource your push-ups and expect to get stronger. You cannot do that in your marketing. You've got to know your audience, your message, and what makes you and your business unique. And so you need to know that first. And then once you've drafted your content, this is where AI can shine because you can use it to tighten up your copy, to make it more conversational, to help it to flow better, all while keeping your original voice and intent intact. So for example, recently I updated my website, especially the homepage, to really, as I've made this transition to do more business coaching, I wanted that to be reflected on the website. And so when I was rewriting the copy for my website, I did it first by myself in a Google document, knowing who my audience is and the message I wanted to communicate. And then I did use ChatGPT and I gave it specific instructions. And I said, okay, take this paragraph and tighten up the messaging. Make sure there's no sentence longer than X number of words. Remove filler words. Bring to light anything that may be unclear or confusing. I was very specific in what I wanted it to do. And so you can do the same thing with your content. For example, if you're writing an email newsletter, write it out and then throw it into ChatGPT or wherever it is you're using AI and tell it to review it and optimize it for conversions. or tell it to optimize it for your tone and your message, or you need it to be shorter and you need it to be 250 words instead of the 500 words that it is, and it'll tighten it up for you. Now, remember, again, you are telling this robot essentially what to do. It's only going to do what you ask. So be specific in your request of what you're wanting it to do. And be willing to learn. It may take a few iterations, or you may just want to take some snippets that it creates. You may not like everything that it does, but it may take a few sentences that you really love and throw that in there. It can be a really helpful tool when it comes to the editing piece after you've already created your content. So number one is to edit your marketing copy. The second practical way that you can use AI to amplify your marketing in your equine business is email subject line analysis. Now, we all know if your email does not get opened, the rest of it may as well not exist, right? The goal of an email subject line is to get people to open your email. And so there are AI tools that can help analyze subject lines for clarity, for emotional impact, and even help you to be aware of spam triggers. You can ask it to give you alternative wordings, to maybe compare the predictions of how it thinks 2 or 3 different ones will perform, or to test different angles. There are different ways that you can do this, all right? And it's essentially like having a second set of eyes to help you boost your open rates. Now, recently, a few months ago, I think, I shared in my email newsletter. I send a weekly email newsletter, and I shared in there a free email subject line analyzer. It is using AI, and it's wonderful. It's completely free if you go to subjectline.com. So if you're like, Denise, I don't even want to create a ChatGPT account. I'm not there yet. Go to subjectline.com and test this out. Put in your email subject line, ask it to analyze. That's all you have to do. And it's going to give you a score, and it's going to tell you why you got the score you did. And then it's going to give you multiple suggestions for ways you can increase your score. Obviously, a higher score increases the chance for a higher open rate. And you don't have to take, again, exactly what they give you. You can meld a couple of them together to make your own, to make it sound like you. But it's a great way, again, when you are the only marketer in your business. You're also probably playing some bookkeeper roles, and you're probably also HR, right? You're doing many things. So you're sitting at your desk or at your phone or wherever you're at doing these marketing things. This is like having your marketing friend right there alongside you. All right. So email subject line analysis can be extremely helpful way to use AI to amplify your marketing. Number 3, content idea generation. Now, I know I told you don't expect it to write everything for you and do a perfectly good job, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you have to always go in knowing exactly what you're going to create. If you go in saying this is going to be a brainstorming session, you'll be surprised at the ideas that you can generate just from feeding it some information and asking it some specific questions. Here's how this can be so helpful. I am sure that there have been times when you have been staring at a blank screen, wondering what you're going to write about. What's that next post going to be? What's that it could be a blog post. It could be a social media post. It could be the email newsletter. It could be a podcast. I know some of you do have podcasts or YouTube channels, and you're sitting there going, I'm feeling a little bit blank on content ideas right now. AI can help you to break through that content block as your brainstorming partner. So how does this work? You're going to feed it a specific topic and then get a list of content ideas, and you tell it, okay? This is, again, remember, you need to tell it your audience, okay? This is my audience. This is the type of content that I create or the types of problems that I solve. And then say, give me 5 ideas for blank, and then tell it, right, what it is you're trying to brainstorm. This can be so helpful to find fresh ways to talk about what you're already doing and talking about. How often do we get stuck in a rut or we get stuck in our own little silo? And so when you do this, because AI is pulling from so many different places, it could give you a new way to say something or a new problem you hadn't thought about addressing. So again, this is a brainstorming session. And so be ready because you're going to get some ideas. And again, you may not love the initial ideas and you can push back, or you can take them and rework them and say, I really like this idea. Give me 5 more like this. Okay. So again, you're feeding it that information. Now, let me tell you this. I always say to my clients, the best content ideas are going to come from listening to your audience. And I am training during the coaching process. Regularly, I am training my coaching clients to listen and to see those content ideas as they are in their business having those conversations. And that is always going to be true. So you need to get your best ideas from your audience 100%. And I want you to be training yourself to do that. Now, the helpful thing about this particular tool and using it in this way is that it is also listening to your audience online in places that you may not be going, as long as you're very clear on who your audience is. So that's why when you use AI as a tool to ideate for you and to help you generate new ideas, you may find some new ideas or some new ways of saying the same thing you've been saying that will help you attract more of your best fit audience by way of your social media, your blog, your podcast, your YouTube channel, all of those things when you use AI in this way. Again, you're probably tired of hearing me say this, but you've got to do the legwork first. If you know your audience well, then you're going to get even better ideas generated here. Okay. So you've got to start with doing your legwork. And then when you ask AI for help and some brainstorming, you're going to be blown away. All right. It's going to be so helpful. I'm so excited for you to try this. All right. The last way I want to encourage you to use AI to amplify your marketing is related to video. Now, I know not everybody has video content right now, but I'm going to encourage you to start kind of building a little bit of a library of one. But this one is you can use AI to clip your videos, and it can be a lifesaver. Now, you're saying, Denise, I don't know that I have a lot of video. Let me give you some things to think about. Have you hosted a clinic, and could you have someone record that for you? Or maybe you already have and you just haven't figured out a way to use that yet. Or what if you had somebody record you in a training session even? Or maybe you've done a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live and you've saved the video and you thought, I could really clip this out and make some really good reels or YouTube shorts for this, and I'll save it for when I have time to cut it up or can ask somebody to do it for me. AI can help you with this. Now, I personally have loved Opus Clip. My podcast episode with Ryan Rose, he shared about that, and I have loved it for helping me to take my podcast interviews and turn them into clips for social media. If we're friends on Facebook and Instagram, you've been seeing those there. And it is great because it literally clips out what it thinks is going to be the most engaging moments in the long form video, and it turns them into short clips that are perfect for reels, shorts, TikTok, all of those things, right? So before, I thought I needed to take the time to get into a video editing software and literally clip up these longer form videos. And so I didn't do it. I have hours of podcast interviews saved. I've saved the videos and I hadn't been using them because I knew I didn't have time yet. And I didn't even have time to find somebody that I trusted that would do it for me, right? But Opus Clip has been helping out with this a ton. Now, again, it doesn't do everything. And I caution you to not, do what I said earlier, which is just copy and paste. So I caution you to not just let AI clip everything and then take the clip and just run with it. Take the time to put your branding in there, change the colors a bit so it matches your branding. Take the time to read it. So I've seen a lot of people that are using Opus Clip and similar tools, and then their caption is so weird because there are a few words that AI did not transcribe correctly. And so it does not take that long to just read the transcription, read the caption, and make sure it matches the words. So for example, especially in the horse world, writing is what it will think you're saying when you're saying writing. So when I talk about like writing instructors, it will put writing, WRITING, almost every time. And so I have to go in and teach it that that's not correct. There are other small things. So just go in and customize it. But still, even so, it is taking a 30 to 45-minute podcast interview and turning it into 20 to 30 usable clips that I can use. And all I have to do is go in and make a few tweaks to it. It's lovely. And so again, if you have Facebook Live videos, or maybe you are recording podcast interviews and you're doing it by video, or again, clinics, training sessions, membership libraries, those types of things. So much video content exists nowadays. And so this is a really good way to repurpose your existing content and get more mileage out of the videos you already have created. Plus, many of you know with short form video, it is one of the fastest ways to get in front of the right people right now, even regardless of what platform you're on. So if you're already doing the work to create these long form videos, utilize AI to help you share it with more people. And you're not going to have to hire a full-time video editor to do it. All right. Which again, okay, even as I say that, let me just give you a little caveat, because at the end, I love that. You don't have to hire someone to do all these things for you. And then some of you are going, see, Denise, I told you it's going to steal people's jobs. But here's the reality, okay? Technology over the years has constantly evolved. And the people who choose to evolve with it are the ones who are really going to, how do I say this best, are not going to lose their jobs. Okay. I heard somebody say this the other day on a podcast I was listening to, and they said, it's not going to take your job, but if you don't adapt it into your workflow, that might be the thing that takes your job. Okay. So yeah, I'm saying you don't need to hire a full-time video editor because you can figure it out. And at the same time, I'm encouraging you to find what success means to you. And so you may be saying, Denise, I want to hire somebody to do this piece for me. I love that AI can do it and it shortens it, but I still want to pay somebody 3 hours to go in and do that instead of me spending 3 hours a month doing that. Whatever it might be. Okay. So I just want to say that because as I say, without hiring a full-time editor, I'm sure that some of you are going, see, I told you, Denise, it's going to steal jobs. Well, here's the reality. That full-time video editor is going to find new ways to use AI to make their job easier so they can help more people. So it's just a matter of how we use the tools, friends. Okay. All right. So we have 4 practical ways that you can use AI to amplify your marketing. Number 1, edit your marketing copy. Number 2, email subject line analysis. Number 3, content idea generation. And number 4, video clipping. Now, before we get off, I want to give you 2 more important reminders for using AI in your horse business, okay? I started out with 2 important reminders. I want to bookend it with 2 more reminders for you, okay? Number 1, it is your job to feed the beast. As you heard me say multiple times when I was giving you these practical ideas, you have to give it feedback. It is learning. That's the interesting thing about AI and learning and the intelligence of it is it can learn. And so give it feedback. Start with the outcome you want, and then you can even ask it, what do you need from me in order to do this, right? So say, I need to create 5 social media posts from this blog post. What do you need from me in order to do that? And then it can tell you what it needs. Because remember, it doesn't know your business. It doesn't know your customers. It doesn't know your offers, your writing style, your audience, any of those things unless you tell it. Okay, so you're going to get the best results when you feed it the best information. Secondly, I want to remind you and encourage you, and this is so very important when you're using AI, do not lose your voice. You have a unique voice. You have a unique perspective. If everyone is jumping onto the AI bandwagon, you're going to start sounding like everyone else. And that is not going to amplify your marketing, friends. Your voice, your tone, your reflections, and your perspective are all unique. So do not lose that or give it away by leaning too heavily on AI. All right? This is my most important reminder to you. It is a great tool, but do not lose your voice when it comes to your marketing. Now, again, technology is constantly evolving. AI is very likely here to stay. But that doesn't mean you have to be an expert to make it work for you. So what I want you to do today is pick one thing that I've shared with you. Start small. Try one of the ideas that I've given you. Next time you're feeling stuck or short on time or like you need an expert at hand, okay? Because remember, we're here to simplify your life and your marketing and your business so you can do more of the things that you love. Okay. I promise you, this is going to be so helpful to you as you make space to learn it and utilize it. And of course, if you want a hand with this, if you're like, Denise, can I get on a call with you and flesh some of these things out and figure out how to use it? Then I have clarity coaching calls available all day long. You can book them at any time at stormlily.com/clarity. And I would love to meet up with you and walk you through some of these things or show you how you can use it or share some prompts with you, whatever it is. Or if you're saying, I need to strategize my audience and my voice so that I can better feed the beast, all of those things we can do together in a clarity coaching call. Or of course, if you want to jump into the 6-month coaching program and have more of that personalized support during and between calls, then I'd love to invite you to check out Take the Reins as well. As you know, friends, I am here to help you and support you so that you can build an equine business that meets your definition of success. And I do believe that AI is going to help you do that. So I hope today's episode is equipping you to do that well. And I hope that if you need that extra support besides what the robot can provide, that you will reach out. I would be honored to provide some coaching to you and help you in this journey as you build your equine business. Thank you so much for joining me here today and trusting me on this process. Please know as well, you can go to the show notes at any time and I'll have the conversation highlights from today on there. So if you go to Storm Lily, which is stormlily.com/178 for episode 178, you can get the outline of today's episode. And that way, if you were listening and you couldn't quite take notes, I've got that there for you. And then of course, the links to the Clarity Coaching Call as well as Take the Reins. Thanks so much for joining me here today, friends. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you back here next week.